someone posted a posting on care.com, I think. And we replied back, we're like, hey, we could do it. We charge her like $25 an hour and we paid the tutor like $23 an hour. And at the time we were like, okay, this is great. We're at least making something, you know? And for us, that was new. Like we never really made $1 or $2 anywhere. So we saw a little bit of proof of concept and we were like, let's keep going. You know, if we get 10 of these, maybe we can get couple $100 a month, whatever.
I'm Tom Ward, and over the last couple years, I've had the chance to sit down with some of the biggest celebrities and influencers in the world. What I've always found most fascinating is the stories of the businesses that they've built behind the scenes. On this show, you'll get an inside look of what it takes to build a successful business from some of the biggest celebrities, business people, and up-and-coming entrepreneurs in the world. This is The Tom Ward Show. Hey guys, welcome to the Tom Ward Show, where we talk to the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, and we have such an entrepreneur here. Recently named Forbes 30 Under 30, which is a big deal. Ryan Neiman, I got it correct.
Right this time.
I always screw up people's names.
The W slides in there always.
Yeah, so you have a tutoring site, which is in person or online. It's called Hey Tutor.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's funny, I've interviewed literally hundreds of people, celebrities, startup people, just all over the place. And my favorite people to interview aren't the celebrities, because a lot of them aren't even relatable. It's like, you're gorgeous, you're rich. You know, right. I can't relate to either of those things, right?
I feel the same way, yeah.
But I love your story, how you and your co-founder started with $400. And I was thinking about that. I go, what does $400 buy? Like
a cell phone. And you make your own Squarespace site. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You made the site yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what? So you got a site up. You're out of your $400 or $800 is spent.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a really long process how we started, but basically, I'll go back into a little bit about like my childhood. So my parents immigrated here from Iran. Around in the 80s, you know, didn't come here with much, placed a lot of value on education.
Oh yeah.
Right. You know, growing up in a foreign culture, foreign family, the typical path to success is you go to school, you get a good education, you get a good job, then maybe
doctor,
later,
lawyer, or engineer.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. You know.
Oh yeah.
So basically, you know, that's a typical path, and then maybe later, once you're safe, once you're a little bit more settled, you maybe start a business. So very risk adverse. And for me, I just never fell along that path. I never did good in school. You know, always struggled to find something that I was really passionate about. You know, typical kid, loved video games, loved to just hang out, mess around.
But you went to UCLA, which is not easy to get into.
So I transferred.
You went the community college way?
I hit it pretty well, but I transferred, exactly.
I did the same
thing. I
thing.
went to SMC.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, literally right close by. But so in high school, once I graduated, all my friends were gone. They went out of state for college.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And you're stuck.
So I was stuck. I had like 2 buddies here, you know, basically my entire social life gone. And it like really hit me. I had like a reality check. And I was like, you know, I gotta either step it up in school and follow the right path, or do something and build my own freedom. And you know, the first thing I did was, all right, I gotta at least do good at SMC. This is my final chance. So, you know, ironically enough, I needed a tutor. And I didn't have a lot of money. I couldn't go to some website and
What subject would you need a tutor in?
So business calc.
I took business calculus, guys, 3 times.
The hardest class.
For me, it was the hardest class.
Yeah.
I don't understand people who understand.
Hardest class.
The third teacher I had, she was from Kenya, and she got married and was moving back to Kenya right after the semester. So she liked me.
Yeah.
So she passed me, but if it wasn't for her, I'd still be in that class.
You got lucky. I had a tough professor. I mean, he was so tough. Never smiled once. Like he was, like there was no way for me to succeed without a tutor. And you know, I was out of options. I literally I couldn't pay a lot to get a tutor. And I was like, let me ask around. You know, and I found it's actually like a lot easier to find someone, you know, in your community or in your group of friends, whatever it is, to help you out than just going online. I found an amazing tutor, literally passed the class because of him. I think I got like a B+.
Oh, nice.
Which for me was great.
Yeah.
That was great. I was happy with a B+. And then, you know, I went to my buddy. I was like, hey, I think there's an opportunity here. You know, like we can find tutors pretty well, you know, and there's so many people looking for tutors. You know, everybody needs help in one way or another. And, you know, let's try it out. Let's just see what happens. And this was actually after like 2 other failed businesses that we tried.
Well, hold on. Before you get on that, what did you try before? Because I think I don't want people ever to get the perception that, look at me now, you know, everything worked out fine.
Yeah.
I like to hear about those 2 failed ones first, which
most successful entrepreneurs have those.
Yeah.
What were yours?
So both with the same friend from high school, Skyler.
Okay.
The first one was we wanted to basically like change the way, and we were 18 at the time, like way in over our heads. We wanted to basically change the way you order at a restaurant. So instead of, asking for a waiter, you have a tablet in front of you and you order.
Which they have now.
Yeah, they have now, exactly. And so we had another buddy who was, software engineer, could put something together. We partnered with him. He was basically in charge of putting it together. We went with it, and then we had an initial beta product that barely worked. And I remember we wanted to know if it would even work. So we called the competitor, we acted like we had a restaurant, and they gave us a live demo. I swear to God, it was in the Valley. And me and Skyler went there, and they brought the demo in front of us, and we just looked at each other. We were like, we're way in over our heads. This thing probably cost millions to build. We're not even close. Just drop it right now. So we went back. We're like, back to the drawing board. It's not going to work. The other one was a little bit more scrappy. We literally wanted to basically have carts around LA that sell ice cream, sell water, drinks, anything like that. And we thought, hey, if we can have 10 of them, good little side hustle, whatever. We didn't want to make that much money. We wanted to make a little bit of a side, income coming in and go from there. That one didn't work out either. So finally we landed on tutoring. And so the first step, at this point we were a little defeated. I'm not going to lie.
Of
we were
course.
we're how many more times are we going to fail?
Yeah, or maybe I need a new partner.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe it's Skyler's
that. I mean, he was we were both very driven at the time, and again, all our friends were gone. So it was really just us, and we just were willing to keep going.
Now, you talked about competition, okay, I've got this tablet ordering system at restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh wait, somebody else is doing it already and doing it a lot better than we could. There's tutors everywhere.
Right.
Why tutoring? It seems like there's a lot of competition in that space,
Yeah,
right?
so the unique thing about agency businesses are you're really connecting two people, right?
Okay.
You have to be good at identifying someone that's very skilled, whether a business, whether a freelancer, whatever it is, and then you have to be good at selling. But as long as you're the one that's creating the relationship, they're a little bit easier industries to break into.
Okay.
There's less barriers to entry, right? Rather than having to spend, $1 million on software, $500,000 on software, whatever. You can really just, if you have the network, you can leverage your network. So it made sense for, two entrepreneurs with really nothing. And so, at the time we said, okay, I'll make a website really quick. I was, pretty good with computers, pretty good with, setting up a Wix site, Squarespace site. So I put together, 2 landing pages. One was a form, one was an intro of the site, and we got a cell phone. And then the first thing we did was at night, we went all around UCLA. We printed 100 flyers, hiring tutors. And we posted them everywhere. We were scared that security was going to kick us off, whatever, but no one really cared. We just posted them everywhere. The next day we got probably 30 applicants. We had a friend of ours call and act like, she was the receptionist or, someone scheduling.
Hell yeah.
And she's like, hey, I'm calling from Premier Tutoring. We were Premier Tutoring at the time. Want to schedule an interview.
Who they were calling the
tutors.
Tutors, okay,
yeah, exactly.
that applied.
And then it got to a point where we didn't have an office. We had nothing. So we rented a little office space. At this point you could get them for $200 for 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So we rented one room. We had another friend come help us, and we were taking 3 interviews at a time. It was a big conference room with the conference table. I was on one end, he was on another end, our other friend was in the middle.
Yeah.
Everyone just showed up. It was open interviews. Interviewed everyone. We made 30 hires.
What was the pitch to the tutor?
It was basically, hey, we're a tutoring agency. We have a lot of opportunities, even though we honestly didn't.
Of course. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. You got to do it. And then, we said, hey, we'll let you know whenever opportunities arise. And, just check your phone, check your email. We'll call you when something comes up.
But what's the split financially? What do you
It
get
was all
into
different.
that yet?
We didn't even have a set rate. It was all different. It was basically dynamic. If someone wanted calculus, we charge a little bit more. We just
Oh, you guys set the pricing?
Exactly, yeah.
And then you took a percentage and the rest they got?
Exactly.
Okay.
At that time, our margins were $1 or $2. I think I remember our first sale. We got it off some site. Someone posted a posting on care.com, I think. We replied back. We're like, hey, we could do it. We charge her $25 an hour, and we paid the tutor $23 an hour. And at the time, we were like, okay, this is great. We're at least making something, you know. And for us, that was new. We never really made $1 or $2 anywhere.
Yeah.
So we saw a little bit of proof of concept, and we were like, let's keep going. If we get 10 of these, maybe we can get couple $100 a month, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we kept scaling. I think we took guerrilla marketing to a whole new level.
Okay.
The
best kind of marketing.
Yeah, we started literally going door to door, dropping flyers off. We would get these 8x3 banners. And we would go in the middle of the night, literally to schools. I would stand on Skyler's shoulders, or he would stand on mine, and we would literally tie them on the gates of schools.
Okay.
And it would say like Premier Tutoring at $30 an hour.
High schools, or are you focused on colleges?
It was mostly K through 8 because it's harder to find
okay.
tutors for more difficult subjects. Calculus, it's naturally harder.
Got it.
So we would literally post these on schools in LA, like in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And sometimes we go back next day already taken off.
Sure, the school doesn't want that.
But you got to realize there's other banners there, so it's hard to actually even realize.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So like someone doesn't even know if it's from the school or not.
Yeah.
And then we just kept doing it until we had a little client base, and we kept just scaling, literally from guerrilla marketing. And at this point, I actually ended up doing well at SMC. I got into UCLA. Mm-hmm. And, my plan was I'm still going to do both at the same time. I don't want to burn one bridge. I don't know what's going to happen with tutoring. I don't know what's going to happen with my education. Mm-hmm. Let's, try both avenues.
Well, speaking of that on the education part, what's mom and dad thinking during this time?
It was really tough. All my friends were gone.
Yep.
Every time I would see parents, family, they were like, what are you doing? Why are you even trying this? Just focus on education.
Yeah.
It was a really, honestly, dark time.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie. But when I look back, the benefit was you can use that as fuel, mm-hmm. right? Like
I'm gonna show them
exactly all that anger, all that like animosity towards your whatever. You use it as fuel to keep going. You want to prove people wrong.
100%.
Yeah. So at that time I had nothing else other than like I have to make this work,
mm-hmm.
literally just to prove it to everyone and to get them off my back and to stand on my own 2 feet. Mm-hmm. And it got to a point where once I got into UCLA. I remember I tried to sign up for my first class. They had not a single night class. So I was like, this is going to be impossible. Mm-hmm. I can't actually go to UCLA and try this if everything's happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I had to decide.
Oh no.
I had to decide.
You quit UCLA?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right when I got in. So everything that I had hoped to do with school, just let it go.
Now, how does immigrant mom and dad take that one?
That was probably the worst of it. That was like the 1 or 2 years following that was like my grandparents, like everybody was just against me, like everyone. Yeah. I remember I would go to like dinner or eat with them and I would tell my sister like I can't do it anymore. Like
you're tired of getting grilled.
It's just like it's not good for my health. It's not good for my mental health. Like I just leave there angry and just not anything beneficial.
Yeah. So how did you mentally, entrepreneurship's a tough game and it takes its toll, especially early on when you don't have that immediate success.
It's lonely.
It's lonely and there's a lot of self-doubt too. Not only do you have your own self-doubt, I'm sure, but then you have people literally telling you, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Go back to college. This ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
How do you get around that?
I think that's a great question. I think, to remind a lot of people that are out there feeling the same way, you need that. I swear to God, you need it.
You need that negativity?
You need it. Like that's what fuels you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like either passion or some negativity. You want to prove people wrong to the point where you're going to do whatever it takes.
Yep.
If you're comfortable, if you're feeling okay, you're not going to push yourself to that limit. Mm-hmm. And you need that, honestly. That gives you the edge over the next person who's running a business.
Who just has support from everyone and life is good.
You're okay. You get to a point where you're just living and you're happy.
Yep.
And you're not going to work as hard as the person who's literally like night and day, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it.
Yep. The hunger you can't teach.
Exactly.
I think the hustle too.
Yeah.
Like, a community college or even UCLA didn't teach you, I'm going to print these banners up and just harass schools everywhere.
Literally, yeah.
No one taught you that. You figured it out.
It was whatever it took. Literally whatever it took.
Yeah. So what was kind of the sales strategy at the time? Just go to as many schools as we can?
So that was the strategy for the first couple years.
Okay.
And then a little bit later, we got into digital marketing. And literally running ads on Google, running ads on Facebook. And that kind of was the main switch for us. Like that turned us from like a little, hobby side business to like, okay, we can really build a real business. Because, with digital marketing, you can scale all across the nation. Mm-hmm. You just add another zip code, add another city, and now your ad is running there.
But, okay, tutors.
Yeah.
How are you going to get tutors everywhere?
Literally started to leverage, digital.
Would you go one city at a time?
So we wouldn't do that physically anymore. We'd literally post jobs on Craigslist, Indeed, like anything that was available. So we pivoted along the way. We kind of became more of a digital, marketing in the sense of both hiring tutors and selling to parents.
Okay.
And it was working. It was working except for some cities. Like I remember we tried to scale to San Francisco first. Mm-hmm. And we went there. We did the same thing. Same banner, same picket sign, same flyers. We got like one call. We were there for a week. We got a single call.
Why do you think that was?
To this day, I have no idea.
Huh.
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing all this. Digital marketing takes a lot of money. Where do the investors come from? And who are they?
Yeah, so initially we tried to basically pivot from, hey, we're going to be an agency where we take the calls and we make the matches, to let's just open a marketplace.
Okay.
And marketplaces do very well, but they're very hard to scale.
Yeah.
Where you go online, you search for a tutor, you message them directly, you organize everything yourself, and you kind of go on your way, and we're just a platform that provides everything.
Okay, yeah.
So that was our next step, and for that we had to raise money.
Okay.
And I remember we actually tried to raise from family and friends, didn't get a single dollar.
Well, why would? Of course not. Well, they were against you from the beginning.
At this point, we were doing okay. Like we were well enough. Like we were comfortable.
Are they off your back at this point?
A little bit. It got a little bit easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Couldn't raise a single dollar. And we're like, all right, we gotta really go the venture route, angel route. We have to get serious. This isn't a joke anymore. We want to raise some money.
Yep.
And I think at this point we were doing $2 million a year in revenue.
Okay, this is a real business.
Yeah, it was enough to survive on for sure, but our margins were very low.
Okay.
Again, that's revenue. A lot of people, when they see revenue, they don't realize there's so many costs associated. I think we were even negative.
Talk about cash flow, though, and how important that is.
Yeah, I mean, cash flow was literally enough to just live. To live. We had our apartments and literally car and food and that we were leveraging off the business, but nothing else. We were not pocketing a single dollar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everything was reinvested.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't paying yourself a salary after 2 years?
Just the bare minimum to live, no savings at all. If we needed more money because, we had a more expensive lunch, whatever, we'd take that, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything else just reinvesting. And honestly, if you're bootstrapping a business, you have to run it that way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you got to put every dollar back in, every cent back in. It's the only way. It's easy to say there's some magic wand or some secret.
Yeah.
Honestly, you got to just reinvest everything you have back in until you have enough proof of concept.
Okay.
Right? Or find some dumb investor and raise money. That's the only other way. But other than that, it's going to be pretty tough.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. And you really have to sell yourself. You have to believe in yourself and, put together a good pitch deck.
Now, there had to be a moment. What was the moment that you could take a deep breath and go, okay, we're good for a little bit until the next disaster.
Yeah,
we're okay now. When did that happen?
It feels like that.
Yeah, but there had to be one where you're like, okay, I got payroll covered for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Revenue coming in's good. Our margins look okay for now.
I'll tell you. So I think we probably have a trait that might be, it might bite us in the ass a lot, but we're always on the edge of our seats. If we ever make a dollar, we reinvest it.
Okay.
So I think
you're still doing that.
Still to this day, I swear to God. We always trying new things. Literally every time we make a little bit, we're putting it right back in to see what else we can do. So to this day, I swear I'm always on the edge of my seat, just pushing for more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you think you need that drive to be a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think it can be taught, or it's something you just have?
I think you have to be in the hot seat, honestly.
What do you mean?
I think you have to have that pressure. You have to have something that you're forced to kind of a reason that you're forced to push further, right? Yep. If you're comfortable and everything's lined up and you're okay, you'll kind of just forget about the drive, you forget about it. And I think, that's why you look at some of those unique individuals that really push themselves through. There's always a backstory. There's always a reason why.
And that's what I love. I love talking to people like that.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There probably are people that still have that raised in high income families, whatever, and they still have it. But I think 90%.
That's rare. Rich kids usually don't set the world on fire.
Yeah.
Because they kind of had it too easy. They don't need to.
Exactly.
When you grew up needing something.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by that hot seat. You need something that you're craving. You need something a reason to push forward.
Yep. There's a great documentary on Netflix that I'm watching. I'm not done yet, about the founding of Spotify. You got to check it out.
I'm gonna watch it.
But the founder had that.
Yeah.
The record companies.
Yeah.
You're old enough to remember Pirate Bay.
Of course, yeah.
Pirate Bay.
LimeWire.
Exactly. They infected many of my computers over the years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But if you're young, there wasn't always Spotify and Apple Music. You had to legally download things, and you never knew what you were getting until it was downloaded.
I mean, he completely changed an industry.
He changed the game, but it took years of trying to convince the record company executives this is a good thing. And if you don't do it now, your profits are going to, he's in a meeting, he goes, your profits are going to be this. And he takes out a blank piece of paper.
I got to watch it.
And the guy threw him out of the office.
And this was before he ended up hitting it off, or how early?
Yeah, it was as he had the technology developed. and he was ready. He just needed the labels to give him his music, and no one would do it.
And did some snowball into more? It was like he got everyone all at once?
Once he made a hire. I won't spoil it for you guys. Okay, spoiler alert. He hired eventually the right person. He gave a piece of the company to, but he was like a record guy, and he knew everyone in the industry. And he was the guy who got, okay, look, we're going to focus on Warner Music now. We got them. EMI's next, and let's get them one at a time. So, but there's always disasters, because I forgot about this. Taylor Swift in 2006 goes, no, I'm not going to be on Spotify. You're not paying me enough. And at the time, she was responsible for 20% of the streams on Spotify.
Wow.
And they're like, no, we don't give special deals. It's like, no. You give special deals to people like me.
Yeah, 20% of
20% of your business. But it's a great lesson that, like you said several times during this, is there's always disasters,
right,
and they never stop. What advice do you have for people encountering that, as they're young, starting a business?
I think you got to be resilient for sure, right? Like, I think if I look back at my history, so many failures, like a couple times where our bank account hit zero, and we just kept pushing, kept standing up when we got knocked down. It sounds a little bit cliche, but I really think, resilience and being able to keep pushing back, it does wonders.
So what do you have that the other guy doesn't?
I think it's the engine of hard work, right?
Okay.
Like, that's what it was. I think, I did things that other people weren't willing to do. I dropped my pride. I was willing to put up banners, flyers, picket signs on someone's door, something that people don't necessarily, they're not willing to do these days.
Yep.
And, I think that's what gave me the competitive edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other advice do you have for young entrepreneurs who want to get in, who want to found something? Because there's a lot of people, and I was this kid, it's like, okay, you're out of college, you've got I had a corporate job, I go, I hate this, but I need money.
Yeah.
Right? And the other problem is, I don't know what else I want to do. I want to own a business of some kind, but what? Do I figure out a tech startup to do and hook up with a co-founder?
Yeah.
Do I go open a liquor store? Like,
there's
too many
it's
opportunities.
a good point. There's too many things to do. I think.
How do you focus?
Yeah, I think
find it.
Don't burn all your bridges at once, right? Try something, but keep doors open.
Okay.
Right. Try 10 things even, or a couple things, but only focus on a couple at a time. Wait till one shows a little bit of proof of concept. Keep digging at that. Explore a little bit more. Maybe you'll reach a pot of gold. You don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's about one of the things that worked for me too was I didn't burn any bridges. I kind of kept going until I saw a little bit of proof of concepts, until I saw that, okay, maybe this can sustain my basic needs living, and then I closed one door.
Okay.
And I might have just kept exploring things until one worked, and then, dropped one and kept going.
Talk about relationships and business and how important they are.
Yeah, so, my business today was literally with one of my best friends from high school. I think to this day, I probably wouldn't start another business with a friend. Not Skyler and I get along great.
Take that, Skyler.
But it's your relationship becomes all about business.
Yeah.
So I think I lost a friend, but I got a great business partner.
Okay.
Right?
What makes a good business partner?
I think high energy.
Okay.
High energy. You don't want someone who's, tired or feeling or wants to complain. I think another thing too is, like, I never complained ever. Like, when the worst possible thing happened, I stayed cool, stayed calm, and I was kind of like, all right, well, let's move on. This is the hand that was dealt. Let's keep moving.
How do you have that attitude? I complain about everything. The most minor inconvenience of my life.
I get it. I get it. Like, even now with my group of friends, we can barely decide to pick a place for lunch.
Yeah,
Like,
that would drive me insane.
There's so many like little things that people can get hung up on.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have desires, but you don't want to have too many. Like, you don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to eat this food. This food's not good enough. I'm a little bit, lonely at work. I'm a little bit this, whatever. Like, you want to focus on a couple things and really focus on them hard.
Is that key to narrow your focus? I think that's the other thing of all the entrepreneurs I've talked to is they have laser focus based on obsession.
Yeah.
It's like borderline obsession. And maybe it is sometimes where this is it. I don't care about what I have for lunch today or what I'm doing Saturday night.
Exactly.
All I care about is this.
I think that's what it takes for sure.
Do you think so?
Yeah, you want to narrow it down to a couple things that really bother you, that you really care about, and let the other things go.
Yeah.
Just let them go and not focus on them. If something sucks one day, whatever, that's not what you care about. You care about something else.
What are some mistakes you made early on that you you learned something before you could pass it along to the next generation?
I think that's a good question because, a lot of times you'll never actually learn something unless you make the mistake yourself.
I'm the same way. That's how I learn.
You can tell me something and I can listen and I still won't really know unless I try to make the mistake myself, right?
I'll still touch the oven.
Exactly.
To see if it's hot.
Someone drops the plate, exactly, and they're like, it's hot, don't touch it. And you still touch it just to see. But now you know for sure.
Yep.
Right? So I think you're gonna have to make mistakes, and I think it's only beneficial to your life, right? Like you make a couple mistakes, and you know for sure, you learn and you kind of adapt and you get better. And
I'm never doing that again.
Exactly, yeah. So as much as someone can teach you, and like I'll scroll through Instagram sometimes and I'll read these like things, and I'm like, these get rich quick schemes or whatever, and I'm just like, like,
everyone's selling a master class, and I hate that.
Yeah, it bothers me. I think some of those people should be in jail, honestly.
Yeah, my whole thing was like, I made $100 million in real estate, and I'm here to teach you to do the same thing. Bro, if I made $100 million,
not teaching a master
I'm not teaching anybody anything.
Exactly.
I'm on an island chilling.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So why are they doing that? Obviously, it's some kind of scam.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people fall for, like, they want the easy way out, and I think the best advice is, like, there is no easy way out.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna have to acknowledge the fact that it's not an easy road, and it's, you're not gonna read some article that's gonna give you the key. You're not gonna, get a tip from someone that's going to completely change your life or read a book. You're going to have to go through the process yourself. You're going to have to fail, and you're going to have to adapt and move on.
Or you can just watch the Tom Ward show and get lessons from people who've already done it.
Exactly.
And maybe that is the secret sauce. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so.
You have to know your business better than anyone. And the only way you're going to do that is to be in every single role.
Yeah.
Like you have to know how every department is running. You have to know how. And one of the hardest things is like when you get to a point where your team's big enough. Like right now, we have a team of 3,000 employees.
Wow.
Most are tutors, but we have a team of 3,000 employees. Corporate's around 100.
Wow.
And you get to a point where you're dealing with like a different beast. Like at a startup, you know everything that's going on at every moment. But once you have different departments that are running on their own, you have to put a lot of trust in the right people, the right managers. And if you don't know your business that well, you're gonna lose control. You're gonna lose control of everything.
Did you have to learn not to micromanage? Was that tough? Like, I know everything. I helped build this business. I was on the phone doing it. This is how you do it. Was it hard to find the right players and put them in place and go, this is what I think you should focus on for this month, and then just step back?
That's definitely the route you want to go. I've never been big on micromanaging personally.
Wow.
There are a lot of people that are, but I think for me, it's like identifying the right person, and then once I really believe in them or really trust them, I'll kind of, let them go on their own. Obviously, like I have deadlines to meet. Everyone knows my deadlines. Everyone has, their own deadlines too. But that's the best way to track performance. Once you get to a stage where your company's that big.
And the other thing you touched on too was, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not you read an inspiring Instagram post and you just all of a sudden light bulb goes on. How long did it take you from starting the company to paying yourself a decent salary? A six-figure salary where you could breathe and not have to sweat about your bill at dinner.
I'll tell you, so even today, I'm like riding in my equity. That's what I'm banking on.
Okay. But you still need to pay yourself something.
But like still, never taken like huge bonus dividend, nothing. Very conservative salaries. Even when we raised, my salary was like $60K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the business was like paying for our rent, would pay for like our food, so we would get by. But the goal was, what's the point of saving $1? When either way, if our business can save $1, it can make more money that way.
Yeah.
So
it's a good attitude.
Zero reasoning for money being in my personal bank account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But how long did it take to get a $60,000, $70,000 paycheck? How many years? Probably
like 6.
That is the best thing you've said in this 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Hear that 6 years of probably living close to the poverty line.
Yeah.
Not going out to dinners, not spending money at clubs.
Yeah.
Not spending money on watches or anything, right?
Literally,
just getting by.
Took that long, yeah.
6 years.
And look, I mean, it can be quicker for a lot of people. I think
course.
Because we started out as a hobby and we were young and it was, we're just playing things out. Like it took us that long.
Sure.
Like I think if you know what you want to do and you have an idea, you can get there a lot quicker. If I started over, I can get there a lot quicker.
Of course.
Right? But yeah, I agree. 6 years, like not kidding, 6 years. And still living very conservatively, like riding in my equity. I'm in it for the long run.
Man, that is a great message to end on.
Yeah.
Any other final entrepreneurial advice for younger people watching?
Yeah, I would say one other thing, I like to think of businesses that as they naturally like try to go towards chaos, right? Like every part of your business is naturally going to always try to go towards chaos. And I think the best thing you can do is always just try to keep it stable and keep it calm. Like, you'll have everything trying to go wrong in every day, in every way. And just trying to keep that together will get you very far.
Do you have any mental health tips to keep, like, what do you do?
Work out.
Yeah, is that the
sure.
stress reliever for you?
When I have a stressful week, like, I have to get in, workout. Like, it's the only way. I won't be able to sleep unless, like, I work out.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, brother. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
This was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on Instagram, make sure you follow me. And also go over to the YouTube channel, The Tom Ward Show. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m., we have new videos. We're also on podcasts, wherever podcast platform you stream, we're on there too. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m., interviews with the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, the most successful ones, and they give you tips, like life and business tips that you can really apply to your own life. So check it out, guys, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.